Morning, guys. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Good morning, Virginia. Good morning, Kathleen. Good morning, Lita. Good morning, other Kathleen. Yeah. Good morning, Kate. Good morning, Ryan. Hi, Belle. Hi, Stephen. Do I see some words of the day in here? Gratitude, abundance, wonder. Oh, what a great word. Release. Ooh, nice, guys. Good morning, Molly. Good morning, France. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Great to see you all here. Welcome back to the 5-minute morning stretch. Good morning, Glenn. Kathleen here mentioned that I had Disney music on today. It's true. Very aspirational Disney princess music. You know, I'm still trying to, it's hard to play DJ and do it all. Maybe one day I'll have like a production person who will, you know, make sure we have the best music always. Copyright free, of course. But until then, it's my music choices. Julie, you say calm is your word of the day. Beautiful. Okay, awesome. So here's where we're gonna do a viewer's choice today. So whoever's first to the punch, tell me, what would you like the 5-minute morning stretch to be about today? Put it in the comments. First to the punch gets it. Could be anything you want. Oh, Val's calling me out. I said no coffee. I said mid-May. I said mid-May, no coffee. And I also said to you in private DMs that I need to slow down with the coffee. So that's the first step. Slow down, then ease. But we're not mid-May yet, so we're good. Roger says shoulders. Shoulders, we got two people saying shoulders. So cool, we're gonna do shoulders today. No probs. Okay, here we go, let's do it. Okay, here we go. Nice and wide with the feet. Let's point those toes out. Get a good grounded feeling into the ground. So really spread those toes wide, squeeze your glutes. Let's do some wrist rolls. Breathe in, come up. All the way up. Good. Let's sway side to side here. Opening up the lats, opening up the back. Oh, back and forth. Breathe in. Deep breath out. Good. Hands come behind the head. Arch the back a little bit. Look back. Good. Okay, let's come forward like we're hugging a tree. Pressure through the hands here and really roll this out side to side. Good. Let's open up the chest one more time. Deep breath in. Open up here. Deep breath out. Hands come behind. Open up. Breathe out. Good. Okay. One hand to leg. Arch and open up. Breathe in. Good. Pass to the center. Deep breath out. Breath in. Open up. Nice. Good. I want you to feel it right in towards the pelvic bone, the oblique, all of that. So really stretch. When you stretch, it's got to be engaged or else you're not going to feel anything. It's got to be powerful. Good. Come together. Squeeze the glutes nice and tight. Hands on the small of the back. Look up. Let's arch a little bit. Good. Come forward. All right. Get the hammies in line, side to side here. Good. Slowly rise up. Beautiful. Okay. If you've got a piece of wall, let's get to the piece of wall. If you don't, that's okay. You're just going to have to be a little bit more, I don't know. You gotta try harder. Okay, so with the wall, what we're gonna do, we're gonna stand with the front foot in front. So the leg that's closest to the wall is gonna be in front. The back leg is where your energy is gonna be. So you're gonna put your body weight into your back foot. I'm gonna face the front. Two of my shoulders are now squared off to the front. One hand is gonna be in front, just kind of tickling the wall. I'm gonna take a deep breath in. I'm gonna trace the wall with my fingertips. And I'm going to make sure my shoulders are still square even though that hand is going behind me. So what often happens is this shoulder, my left shoulder, which is the one closest to the wall, is going to get lost. and my hips are gonna have to turn. That's why we're putting that leg that's closest to the wall in front to prevent the hips from turning so much. I want you to squeeze this glute to keep those hips square as well and come along. So breathing in. Good, trace the wall, deep breath out. Try to keep those shoulders in front. Breathe out and come back. Now, if you're having a hard time, you get stuck right here or something, I want you to walk out from the wall, okay, until your shoulders do not come backwards. You do not twist the hip, okay? So this is where we're preserving and making sure that's the glenohumeral joint, which is the shoulder joint, and not compensation coming from somewhere else. So the compensation here comes from the scapula, compensation comes from the hip, okay? So let's trace the fingers, make sure the hips are square, make sure the shoulders are square, really stretch. Now, if you get stuck around here, okay, for those of you who are like, can't make it, so I want you to bend your elbow, and I literally want you to just push your body into the wall, so you're going to stretch the chest out. Take a deep breath, stretch that chest. You can even straighten the arm and really tip into the anterior delt, into that shoulder. You need some more stretching, probably pec minor is really tight. So you can go back and forth and stretch this. Let's do this a few more times. Breathing in, breathing out, breathe in, breathe out. Beautiful, good. Shake that out. Let's switch, other side. Leg closest to the wall is going to be in front. I'm going to have, this is one thing I didn't say, maybe it was insinuated by my movement, but I want the palm to the wall, okay? So we don't want the back of the hand up. For this one, I want your palm to the wall. So deep breath in, trace the wall, keep your shoulders square to the front. Try not to bend the elbow. It may not be possible to try. Palm is towards the wall. Breathing in, breathe out, and back. Good. Breathe in, trace the wall, breathe out. Good. Keep those hips square, keep those shoulders square. Nice work. Good. Again, if you get stuck here, maybe you have one shoulder that's just really yucky, maybe there's been an injury or something, I want you to spend your time opening up that chest, leaning into the wall. My elbow is pinned against the wall, opening that chest up, and maybe straightening and diving into that front anterior delt. Open the chest. Nice work. Okay, cool. Next one. Let's use the wall again, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to push against the wall with your hands. So I wish I could show you another way, but this is how we're going to do it. So my hands are on the wall, shoulder distance apart. My fingers are really spread nice and wide. I'm making sure there's pressure in all the fingertips. And what I'm doing, my back is flat. I'm gonna, wherever my nose is on the wall, that's where my hands are going to go on either side. From here, my elbows are straight. I'm gonna take a nice deep breath in. I'm gonna lower my back and lower my head, so my head is almost on the ground. This is a really great stretch. You're going to get lats, you're going to get shoulders, and we're just going to go side to side. So I'll take a nice deep breath in, roll up. On the exhale, I'm going to lean down. I'm in a child's pose. My hips are over my heels. And I'm going to straighten my elbows as much as I can, spreading those fingers. And then come up. Good. So from the side, what it looks like is this. Wherever my nose is looking at the wall, my hands are on opposite side. From here, I'm going to lean forward and then lean back, putting pressure on the wall till my head comes between my hands, almost like a downward dog, but on the wall. So really stretch that out, and then you can go from side to side. So if I'm on the wall here and I have pressure, well then now I can look on the opposite, I can look under my arm and really get the side of the lat there too, and then the other side as well. And then let's slowly roll up. Good, that's one of my favorites as well. Okay, What's another one we can do for shoulders? Let's do, you know what gets really jammed up is upper trap. So let's do some self-massage. I want you to take 2 index fingers and your thumb, and like someone's gonna kind of pinch your shoulders or pinch your traps, I want you to go on the opposite side, and I want you to just take the meat of your traps. So you know when you've got it, it feels like a chunk of meat in there. If you've been training, if you haven't been training, you want to build a chunk of meat in there. Okay, that's your job. And just take your fingertips and just dive in there. And you'll notice when something is referring elsewhere. So if this is in your scalings, in your levator, all the muscles of that neck that feed into the shoulder through the clavicle. And so if you're pushing on an area and you feel it somewhere else, it's really tight. By the time there's referral happening, it's really tight and there needs to be attention drawn there. So just feel around. Let's go the other side. 2 index fingers, really diving into the trap. The trap often takes a lot of the pressure with things that we do. So it wants to work way more than the shoulders or the upper back wants to work. So that's a kinetic patterning issue. So we fix that in personal training. We notice that right off the bat. If someone's compensating and using their neck, people use their face muscles a lot more than their back muscles, believe it or not. It's pretty crazy. So a lot of what we do in training is repattern the way the body functions. So if you were to take your coffee table right now and move it, if I watched you do that, I would know everything about your kinetic patterning pretty much, unless you were wearing a huge sweatshirt. But I've been doing this so long, I would know anyways. I would know if you're using your traps, I'd be knowing if you're using your jaw muscles, and if your back wasn't taking any of the weight. But over time, what happens, those small, tiny little muscles, these like little tiny muscles in our neck and little tiny muscles in our upper trap, even our rhomboids, they're taking the pressure and they're taking the strength away from the lats, which is one of the largest muscles in the human body. So we need to repattern that and restructure that. And we use our shoulders way too much for everything. Okay, on that note, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the wall again. So what I want you to do is I want you to sit on your heels if you can. If not, sit on a pillow. I don't want you to sit cross-legged though, because I really want your hips to be straight up, and I want your sit bones to be aligned with your upper pelvic bones. So try to get in an upright position. I want one hand to be out from the shoulder that's closest to the wall. Okay, I'll try to do this on an angle so you can see. So I'm straight here. Okay, now this arm is going to come up and we're going to arch over until we can touch the wall. So what I want you to do is I want to make sure that you're not leaning in front, okay, because then you're going to miss it. I want you to lean directly to the side, and I want the elbow to be as straight as you can. So I really want you to get into the serratus and the lat, which can be often very tight and can affect the mobility of the shoulder. So deep breath in, deep breath out. So you're pushing your hands into the wall, pushing yourself away from it. Breathe. And if you have a massage ball at home, a rad ball, I really encourage you to use it underneath. And how you do that is you would bend your elbow, you'd be on the wall, the ball would be here, and you would run that laterally. And that's really, really great. Okay, come forward. Shake that out. Let's go the other side. You may have to shake out your ankles. This being in this position, this is called Seiza. I love this position in yoga. It's a test of will, honestly, for lots of people with their ankles. So you're getting double whammy right now. Okay, so that hand that's closest to the wall is going to be nice and spread. The elbow is going to be as straight as you can make it, okay? So you're pushing into the wall, you're coming up, you're leaning over until your upper hand reaches the wall. And you're pushing that hand into the wall, you're pushing yourself away from it. So think like Indiana Jones, you're pushing this boulder away from you. So there's got to be tension in that hand in order for you to really get the most out of that stretch. So push, 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 relax your head and neck, deep breaths to that upper rib. On the exhale, we're gonna come out of there. Nice, good work, awesome. Okay, last little bit, let's do a little bit of cat-cow. So from here, again, spreading the fingers, I want your toes to be tucked under behind you. Okay, make sure you have an active lower half as well. My wrists are underneath my elbows are underneath my shoulders. I'm nice and relaxed in my upper neck, nice and relaxed in my trap. Deep breath in, my tummy's gonna come towards the ground, my head is gonna pop up. I'm really gonna make sure I arch my back, bum is up. On the exhale, I'm gonna tuck my tail, and tuck my toes, and I'm gonna slowly push through my hands, really relaxing my face. On the inhale, I'm gonna dive in through my shoulders, doing a little half circle through my shoulders, popping my tail up, nose up, breath in, through the rib cage. On the exhale, tuck the tail, breathe out. Good, lean forward. Good, tuck. Now open, side to side. Good, one more time. Tuck the tail, back becomes arched. Good, last one. Belly comes down, head comes up. Side to side here. Beautiful. Awesome, great job. So the shoulders can be complicated, but I definitely encourage you, if you've never done an assessment with a trainer or a coach, someone who's really specializing in functional movement patterns, there's different kinds of trainers. You know, there's as many varieties of trainers as there is potatoes. So it's really important that you make sure that you've got the person who's got the knowledge you want. So if you want a functional movement assessment, it's really, really wonderful to just know what your patterns are, because in order to repattern those patterns takes a lot of effort, and you need someone watching you. We can't do it for ourselves, and even coaches. I've had numerous assessments over the years, and I've got stuff from my figure skating days and just my own, we all have a dominant hand, we all played sports growing up, or, we've got patterns that keep us on the computer and all that stuff. So it's important to know what your pattern is, and then to have a specific program for you to unwind what that pattern is, to make sure we've got the most functional and most healthy pattern for the body. That's where results come from a functional perspective. So I really encourage you to reach out. If you need help finding a trainer or something, let me know, send me a DM. Same with physiotherapists. Physiotherapists come in different flavors too. Some hook you up to machines and do ultrasounds, and some are more movement focused, some are more, and some have the attitude where they want you to be empowered, and that's another thing too, with the information to teach you what's going on, and some people keep those secrets in their back pocket. Everybody's different in terms of their style. I'm all about empowering the client, empowering the patient. I believe people have the capacity to know. People are smart. And I don't like creating codependence. I come from that psychology space too, right? I don't want to create codependence. I want to give independence. But it is a process. Repatterning the body takes time. Just an FYI, it takes work. But if you're into it, then it's a pretty cool thing. Okay, enough of that shop talk. I hope you enjoyed that. I love the shoulder. Shoulders are complicated and weird, and the shoulder joint is so close to the scapula that the scapula takes a lot of the mobility that the shoulder can't do, and so the scapula gets complicated, it causes pain and all this stuff. So when shoulders work well, life is better. So I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, let's move on to our morning prompt. So the morning prompt today is around vulnerability. It's around sharing things about yourself, sharing feelings, sharing something that is sacred to you with people who are sacred to you. And the first step is to share that with yourself. Oftentimes we discredit or discount our own self as someone who needs to hear the truth. So my prompt for you, I guess my challenge for you today, is to share with 2 people or things some vulnerability that is existing inside of you right now. Vulnerability means truth. Truth that is hard to say, truth that is hard to hear, truth that's hard to write, truth that's tough. And the reason why a truth might be tough is because it needs change. So if there's something going on with you, there's a truth inside of you, there's a truth that you're afraid to say because you're afraid of the reaction, you're afraid of what kind of change might come about if you say it, then that's exactly what I'm prompting you with today. So I want to make sure I'm really clear on this with the word sacred, because vulnerability is not spewing your stuff on Facebook, putting a post together about your deepest, darkest secret, you know, when you're in the middle of tears and pressing post. It's not that. Vulnerability is sacred. Vulnerability is something that we all have, and we all have choices as to who receives that information. We need to feel safe. We need to feel that we're in a judgment-free environment. We need to feel that we are protected. And guess what? There may not be anyone in your life right now where you feel comfortable saying that to. And that's okay. I want you to write it down then. So you're gonna write in a journal, and you're gonna be truthful with yourself. Be truthful about what you're feeling. And knowing that a truth of how you're feeling today may not be the truth of what you're feeling tomorrow. So if today you're like, I don't want my children, I hate my husband, I don't like my job, I don't wanna cook a good meal anymore. Maybe your nutritionist are just like, you know what, I fucking hate squash. Right? I don't care. It's okay. But you know what? Writing that out and just like, woo, getting it off your body is gonna feel really great, you know? And we all go through waves of things, but when we bottle up stuff that we're afraid of, and we bottle up stuff that we feel like we're gonna be judged about, it creates dis-ease in our body. So we need to get it out. And this is where the safe zone sacred person comes in. You need someone smart enough to know that if you say those things, that tomorrow you might pick up the squash, you might kiss your kids a bit harder, and you might look at your husband in his eyes and say, I love you. Today, what's the truth today? Truths can change, but we need to get that out in order to clear it, in order to get perspective, in order to move on from things. But if we're harboring things, keeping things in, we're not telling ourselves the truth, then we're living 2 lives, we're living 4 lives, we're living 5 lives, and we're not being honest with ourselves. So that's the morning prompt this morning. I hope I explained it well about what vulnerability really is, and who you share those things with is really important, and how you go about sharing it. If you are sharing it with someone where you feel like it is, the stakes are high, maybe you're sharing this with a partner and you're saying, you know what, that trip that we're planning, like, it doesn't feel like the right time for me. Like, that could be a truth for you, and you're like, you're devastated to tell this person because this person's really excited about it, they've planned it for a long time, but that truth is important, because if you don't say the truth, it might be too late by the time you decide to say it. And guess what? You might get exactly what you want. That person might say, you know what? Me too. I've been feeling that way, but I've been afraid to say it to you, right? Magic can happen. Okay, guys. Me and my Disney princess music are gonna go on with the day. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited to do this for you every day. Tomorrow is going to be another 5-minute morning stretch with morning prompt at 8 a.m. Thanks for those who are sharing this with their friends and family and colleagues. It means a lot. I do want to make sure that I am in service to as many people as possible. And the internet makes it so that's great. I hope you embody your word of the day. Sending you lots of love. Take care of those shoulders, those hips, and the insides of you. Don't forget your beautiful brain. And I love you. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Bye, guys.